David, I love that intro so much. Just
too.
one of the many things that you were able to create and make awesome. I am Joe Rocky, here with David Hawkins, and we are owners of YourSongmaker.com. And over the last week or so, we have been addressing a staggering problem, which is people don't want to go see their parents and or family during the holidays, sometimes ever, but specifically over the holidays. And in our first episode, we talked about the tension that can be there, whether it's overt or just slightly the elephant in the room. The second episode we did, which by the way, you can see the links for all of these in the descriptions, was to give people a drill to actually think about and practice what would I say to my children or to my parents if they would actually listen to me. That's what episode 2 is. Check that one out. Episode 3 is another drill. It is about how to create the moment so that we're comfortable in being able to make the perfect moment and how to do it. And then last episode was us introducing Your Songmaker's solution to how to make that moment easier, which is the custom song album. And in this episode, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper about what it looks like after we get through there, that there's no other gift that you can give that's going to give back to you, the sender, quite the way that music can. Music has this ability to connect with one person's soul to another in a way that no other medium has. And David, you have been doing, well, you've been in music far longer than you've owned this business. So with all of your years of being in music, how much better, or you even probably know how to say this question better than I, but how much better do you see people get connected when there's a song, a personal touch involved, rather than another form of medium like texting or DMing someone?
Yeah. So it's pretty incredible. I can't tell you how many times we've gotten the client who's sometimes a songwriter, who's sometimes writing a song for someone, but also sometimes who is taking lyrics from their mother or their father in secret, and they send it to us. And those are the best kind, because oftentimes we get, this is the best gift I ever received. Like literally in their entire life, the best gift they ever received. Mm-hmm. So imagine taking something that somebody wrote, like, you know, that writer in your life or that poet or that author. And, you know, we've done chapters of books for people. Like we've taken a chapter, 3 or 4 pages, and then wrote lyrics from that chapter. And then they give it to the author and they're like, what? You wrote a song from one of my chapters of my book? Like, say your mother writes poetry, or your father is a writer, or your son or daughter loves to write. It's really cool when you take that writing and then have us produce it into a custom song in their genre that they love. It's just really cool just having them say, you know, calling us and emailing us, this is literally the best gift ever my mom got, and she cried. My dad cried, and he never cries. He said it was the best gift he ever got, because that's how emotional it is. It's you're not giving them a new tie. You're not giving them, you know, something that your mom gives slippers every year for Christmas. Like, this is an experience. I've read a lot about experiences lately. People want to have experiences now. A lot of people don't want stuff anymore, you know, like things, material things. And this checks that box, like, even greater than going on a trip, because you have it forever. And it's really awesome to hear is the greatest gift they ever got. I'll never get over that.
That's exactly it. Because not only do you have it forever, but it's a showing of a relationship. And a lot of times that's hard to portray, especially from generation to generation. You know, at the end of the day, it's very hard to get a feeling for, well, what did mom really think about grandma? Like, all I hear about is these stories is when my aunt gets drunk and complains about the two of them, but I really don't know what it was like. But
Right.
This is something that gets much deeper than them. So in terms of experiences, that's exactly it. And the other part that goes with this is that if you were going out and you were going to write a song on your own, there is like a gajillion pitfalls you can fail with making a song. That's just the way it is. Whether you have musical talent or not, it's just a really hard thing to do. And one of the things that I love about what we've done intentionally was we try to make it very easy for you to be able to do that. You don't need to be a poet. Certainly you can be, but you don't need to be a poet. You don't need to be an author. All you need to be able to do is basically answer 5 to 6 questions and tell us a story, and we will take that story and turn it into whatever type of song you want. And that's one of the things that I find truly unique and powerful about yoursongmaker.com is that we don't make it hard on you, nor do we make it an ad libs thing where we just take a couple of your words, throw it into a pre-default template, and just say, hey, here, like we're getting with a lot of AI emails, like, oh, this is what you want. We'll just chop it up for you. This is actually custom made. There is people going through thinking about the way to say your words, put them in the right context, and how to marry them perfectly with your genre. I find that to be so, so amazing that we're able to take the heavy lifting, and all you need to be able to do is do what you do naturally anyway, which is tell a story about people you like. So, David, how did we go about making that process go from the infinite challenge of creating a song, just wow, that has to be super hard, to being very easy for our client?
So there's a bunch of different ways that I started way back when, and the first website was called makeyourpoemasong.com. So people would send us their poems, and we would make music from it, and it was cool. But then, we found a lot of people that can't write poetry or don't want to. But they can write stories. They can write how they feel about their loved ones. And as we grew, we thought, okay, how can we make this easy? More easy than anyone has ever done it before. And we do that with our form. Like you said, there's like 5, 6 questions on the form. It's not much. It takes 5 minutes maybe to fill out, not even. But what you get from that form, what you fill out from that form, lets us as the producers and musicians and vocalists know exactly what you're going for. And I always get the comment back, you hit it right on, you hit the nail on the head. How did you know what was in my mind? Like, if people think that we like read their mind, but we don't read their mind, obviously. Our form gives us that information to be able to hit their mark on how they want their song to sound, whether it's a ballad, whether it's rock, slow, fast, whatever it is. That form will let us know how you want your song. And once you get your sample clip, it's just 9 times out of 10, people just love it. They don't want to change anything. They're just like, keep going. And then you have your full song. So less than 2 weeks, 10 days, you get your full song. And it's really special. Like for Christmas presents, we've done many over the years for every occasion you can imagine. It's just, when you give somebody something like this, it's not expected. And oftentimes it becomes like, all right, I'm going to do this again. Our clients are very loyal.
And that is awesome. And one of the cool things that we're doing in this particular campaign is that we're also giving a gift that you can physically open under the Christmas tree. And that is literally, it's a state-of-the-art stainless steel cup that will keep whatever temperature you're drinking is, hot or cold. It will keep it there. It is remarkable.
All day,
and
pretty much.
Yeah. And the reason we did that was so that every single time they're drinking from this literally state-of-the-art cup, they're thinking of, wow, they went out of the way to make this custom song for me. That's really how they feel. And I think that's something that's very important to know, is that like, it goes above and beyond that this memory will keep with them forever. Literally, the stainless steel cup will last forever. It's like indestructible, which is really cool about it. But the memory also doesn't die. And part of the reason for that is the immense quality that goes into the product. As David just said, we are the only company that gives you a sample of your song before you actually get the full-blown production to make it effective and quality for you. And the other cool thing that we do is, again, we make it easy, we make it for you, is we make the quality out of this world. So a lot of times our clients will want to post their songs in a lot of different places. So I was listening to a couple of them today on YouTube, and YouTube naturally will just do a shuffle after you watch one video, they'll put another. So I'm listening to one, it's called New River. Very nice song, I love it. And, I just kind of have it going on in the background as I'm doing other work. And the next song that flicks on is a Kenny Chesney song that ended up being #1 on the charts. And you couldn't, obviously the content was different, but you couldn't tell a productional difference between the Kenny Chesney song that was #1 on the hit charts and the one that came from yoursongmaker.com.
Thank you, Joe. I love to hear that.
No, it was so remarkable because, there's this perception is like, all right, I'm going to get a song, but you're going to be able to tell it's not, it's not there. But kid you not, you couldn't tell. You knew it was a different song, obviously, because that just from listening to a different song on the radio, but it belonged. It belonged absolutely with it. And it was just phenomenal. And I'm yet to hear any of your songs that don't match that. So basically my question is, how do you go and create world-class music and do it consistently and do it so quickly?
Yeah, so that's a question we've been asked a lot over the years. And basically what it is a really rigorous vetting process for our artists. Like all of our artists are top tier recording artists, top tier singers. They're all really, really good at what they do, and they have to pass an audition song. And so we vet them highly. And then because we vet them highly, that's why we're the white glove service. A lot of people, sometimes it's hard to know what sounds good. So in like an audition, is somebody singing off key a little bit, or if the production sound quality isn't as high as it should be to be radio quality, like you're saying, we don't hire that person or that band because we have a very high bar of how we produce our songs. And it takes a lot of years of knowledge. It takes a lot of years of trying and a lot of new technology and a lot of years of just being a good musician and crafting at your skill and making your skill set very high. And that's the reason why the production sounds so good, because there's years and years and years of experience going into these. And then the only thing missing is the client lyrics, your lyrics. That's the only thing missing. Once we get them and once we know how you want it to sound, we take it there. We're the professionals. We take it from there.
Yeah, and the part I love it is it's literally can be about any topic. And obviously we're focusing a lot on the relationships that we have here, but they're not all serious. Like some of them are telling a story. Some of them are, they're very personal. And some of them are just, fun. Like I said, I one thing I do invite to everyone who's watching, whether you're already a client or not, just go onto the featured song page on your Songmaker and just flip it through a couple of them, because there are just amazing quality, obviously, but they're so vast and different. I listened to one the other day about a trucker with his truck full and what it's like being a trucker. I was like, this song should be like the recruiting tool for getting your CBL license. Like, this is amazing. And then I was listening to another one here today. It was a girl's voice, and I apologize for not knowing all the pop artists of the day, but to me, it sounded just like a Katy Perry song or something that I would hear coming out of my teenage niece's room. Like, it sounds just like that. And it's not that, you're trying to rip off someone's sound. It's just you're making everything so quality that it belongs in that realm. And I find it amazing. I just, the entire product is absolutely astounding to me.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I think that I'm glad that you've listened over the time we've been together, because it is the production quality. When you go to Spotify or something like that, Spotify has some rules about how, sounding good. And they have people that check that stuff. But you can really put kind of anything up on those streaming services as long as you pay the fee to put it up and get a what do you call it? Like, sign in, like a login. You can put what you want up there. But when you it's right though, when you compare our music to the big bands, the popular bands that have been on there and around forever and ever, the production quality does sound similar, because it's not because, at first it takes skill, but there are great tools in the past 10 years that let us make it sound that way without paying $5,000 for one song. I mean, if you tried to do this 10, 15 years ago, your song would be $5,000 for one song. It would be $5,000 because you have to get somebody that can play all the instruments, somebody that can sing it, somebody that can produce it, mix and master it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes involved in the sound, and we're not AI. We're not just like clicking a button as like a 10-year-old could do in the room and just letting it fly and hoping it sounds good and then puts it out and says, "Hey, I did this." Like this is real musicians, real artists, real producers, real people that know how to use a mixing board and what's called a DAW, digital audio workstation, and they know how to use software, and they play their instruments and they clean it up and they sing on key, and it's a lot of work, but we're proud to offer it for the price that we do, because we want everybody in the world to have a song. I mean, everybody should have their own song. You should be able to give your song to anybody you want to. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to give someone that you love a song. It's just, it makes them so happy. Their heart is just like, they can't just, they're like, "You did this for me?" Like it's almost like it's incomprehensible. Like that's why we get it's the best gift I ever received comments.
Oh, absolutely. And to the point on the price is that you are getting quality. I mean, the element of what you pay for is what you get is absolutely true. But it's not, as you said, it's not $5,000 a song anymore. Quite frankly, for $5,000, you can get 2 albums now. So, I mean, but there still is the high quality you're getting there. And to go full circle on this conversation of, this is one of the very few gifts that you can give that you ultimately receive immense returns upon. And like you go give someone like a new PlayStation game or something, like, okay, cool, they're happy they're going to go play Call of Duty or whatever. Great. But if you go give them a song that says, "I understand how much you mean to me, how important you are," or whatever you want to talk about, an inside joke you both agree about, just quite frankly, there was a lot of political ones about not liking one side or the other. You do the same thing with any team, a baseball team, football team, whatever, or remembering a special moment of going to a game with your kids. Those are the type of things that not only resonate in the moment that they receive it, but they're also things that you can go back to as the recipient later in your life, whether things are good or bad in your life, because let's face it, everyone has roller coasters, there's good times and bad times. But when you have such a powerful anchor, such a powerful thing that I can listen to and be like, yeah, everything is all right. There's never a moment where I am truly all alone. And when you think of it, how can you ever match something that important when you're giving that to someone else, and how much better that relationship grows? Because that's what you get in return, is you get a lifetime of, no matter what else happened, at least they know I am with them and they have this amazing gift that, again, is one of these things that grows in appreciation. Because that's the other part. Most gifts that we give, the day they come out of the box is the maximum value they're ever going to have, and then they all decline in the recipient's eyes, kind of like a car in that regards, I guess, but not with a song. It just builds up more and more and more. And again, going to the power of music is that our minds remember music way differently than anything else. Like I said, this is the goal and the talent of the songs. I know that you've seen this over and over, We've had some clients for many, many years. And if you can give some examples that, of what it's like and why they keep coming back for this purpose.
Yeah. I can give 100 examples. A couple off the top of my head are, it's really cool when when you're an uncle or an aunt or something, and you're writing songs just like modern day pop songs, and you end up writing one about the family or the niece or the nephew, and then a lot of our clients stream it. It's only $15 when we stream it everywhere, TikTok, Deezer, Facebook's, Instagram, you name it.
And actually, that's included in the packages that are out now. So
exactly.
There's no even extra charge for that.
Right. There's no extra charge. But the cool thing about it is when they do that and they send their niece or nephew the link and they come up as, Uncle Scott's name on Spotify, and they're like, what? This is my uncle playing his song on Spotify? Our teams are ghostwriters for our clients. So our production teams, a lot of them have careers of their own, and they're in the music industry in one way or another. So we celebrate the lyricist here. We celebrate the person who writes the words. There are plenty of avenues that celebrate the bands and the singers, and that's all good and well. But what we do here is we make you the star. You are the star of the show. So you can give that song to your niece through a text, and your niece is like tech genius at 13, and she goes, Mom, Uncle Mike just gave me a song through text and it's about me. Like, that's the cool thing. That's one of the coolest things that I get from clients who love to keep doing this, or like they just feel so good about it. Like they feel cool. We make them cool.
Oh yeah. There's no way around. And again, it goes because you put energy and effort into it in a way that you couldn't have anyways. And you think about it, that's part of any relationship. You're going to put yourself out there, even if you're trapped in tradition and routine. You're still putting yourself out there in one facet or another. Just using Thanksgiving as an easy example. You can just have your entire life be, I'm always going to be on this couch with a beer in my hand, hating on the Lions and then hating on the Cowboys. And I've been doing it for the last 46 years. All right, that's a tradition. But there still is part of you coming out across that through the year, through how you literally act during the environment, right? So we think that we can hide behind tradition or stoicism or whatever you want to say. But the reality is you don't. And if you're going to have an impact on this world, which we all want to anyway, why don't we do it in a way that's personal, direct, as best memory as possible, and professionally done to the absolute nines? So, David, I'm going to let you have the chance to have the last word for this episode, for the power in which our product has for bringing families together.
So I think the thing that's the coolest thing about that factor of bringing families together is the unexpected wow factor of the song. Because, when you give somebody a piece of your heart with your lyrics and you tell them what you feel, we'll help you with that. You don't have to know, but we can help you with that. The feeling that the family member gets when they hear it, they get filled up with emotion. And, it happens every time, consistently, all the time. I can't think of one instance where the person gave someone a song and they were like, I don't like that. It's always the same thing, and it never gets old to us. It's always the same thing. It's always amazing. It's always emotional. And, it's just one of those things where it really is the best gift ever. It's, I started this whole industry a long time ago. There are some competitors now, but we do this in a way where they don't. We know exactly what to do. We're the professional white glove service. And when you want to give something to your family that is not second best, that's us.
That's absolutely true. And what a great note to end on. We are going to be doing one last episode here on Friday as we conclude this series here about bringing your families together. In the meantime, feel free to message us directly, send us replies via the emails. We are always here to help and to try to help fix this problem. And as always, you can find the link to your song maker in the description below and be able to start your album. And on a note, for those who are watching us live, the offer that we have been discussing does end at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday night. So we look forward to seeing y'all. We look forward to making your amazing song coming out.